Hello again, traders. Right, apologies if I ramble on a bit. I am quite tired. I was up most of the night messing around in the Asian session, purely because I've had too much sleep, I think, and couldn't sleep properly. So I wanted to talk a bit more about this multi-time frame momentum. I've just taken a long on this baby. I was looking at gold, I was looking at all the usual suspects, GJ, and basically I don't mind admitting I was hunting for a trade. Probably one of the cardinal sins of trading, but I couldn't, I couldn't resist making the previous video about this new revelation with the TMA slope. And once again, I do apologise. I've got so many bits and pieces I'm testing on these charts at the moment that this indicator, the RSI, is getting a bit muddled across time frames. So I'm having to juggle with testing various indicators and the lag that they create on my machine, so or the conflict. But anyway, without further ado, I'm looking at this. We are in the middle of the sort of London Open session now, as it were, 9:34 UK time. I've had 4 scalps since I woke up late at 7:10, I think it was, and got straight into a scalp straight away. So, you know, the confidence that I've got from this new sort of observation, as it were, is absolutely phenomenal. So one of the good things about having a sort of a traffic light method to trade is that you cannot possibly trade one way, because it is all wrong, because it wouldn't fulfill your requirements. So in other words, I couldn't really trade short unless I was trading this on something like the 1 minute, 5 minute time frame, just the pullback as a result of that 3CR there. But what I'm noticing with this multi-time frame, and you notice if you follow me on Twitter, Best Forex Method on Twitter, that I mention multi-time frame analysis a lot. So something we've clearly got on this chart at the moment. I notice I've dumped the arrows at the moment as well on this particular template. I must admit I'm away with the fairies with all the different stuff I've got going on. But we've got the 20 break as well. So 3CR, I've always said the best 3CRs are the ones with strong momentum. So this is a absolute screamer to the long side. So then I'm flicking between all the time frames, because as you know from the previous video, if you watch it, you will see that I'm really keen on this break of the 34 EMA here with a change of colour. That's the thin one, and the 89 EMA with a change of colour. So at that point there on this 30-minute chart, I could not possibly consider going short, but I really want to find the longs, as it were. So when we drop down to 15, we are nowhere near the MA crossovers. So the higher the time frame, the more powerful the alert, as it were, or the indicator, or the move, your set of reasons to enter, as it were. But they won't always be perfect, you know, because obviously as you move up through the time frames, everything gets slower and slower and slower, and you really have to time things carefully. So at this point here, we hadn't just had a changeover. Whoops. You know, we hadn't just changed, from nothing to green. Let's see if I can explain that better. So M30 hadn't closed at that point. Okay, so we're on the new M30 candle there, and the timing was out. So what I want to see, obviously, is to agree with that M30, the higher time frame. This will be a little bit hard to get your head round at first, because obviously it's new to me, and it will be extremely new, likely to you too. So there we've had the M30 close. So this is looking really, really good to the long side. Let's have a double check of H1 as well. H1 had closed the previous hour. So what that tells me, we've got the 3CR, we should wait for the pullback, but we should be categorically looking for longs at every opportunity. So here we have multi-time frame momentum at work. That's the point of this video. But also the importance of the TMA and the timing, and you don't want to get in longs in the middle of these EMAs, as it were. You want to get in there. That's the best time, there early on, or here early on. So as I said just now, I apologise if I'm rambling a bit, and you will have to perhaps replay, pause, and all that malarkey to get your head around what I'm doing. But basically everything, as I said in one of the tweets earlier, everything you need is on the left hand side of your chart. So when I'm around here and I'm looking to see whether my entry looks right, I always look at a perfect trade, if you like, on the left hand side. That's what I mean by that expression. And then just make sure I'm ticking all my boxes. There should never be any reason to rush into trades. Never any reason at all. And as you become more familiar with something, that's something I don't say enough on Twitter, and I should repeat it. Don't keep changing your methods. Find one that works, because there's, I don't know how many people are using 3CRs and posting charts that almost look identical to mine. Say a score, 20 or 3 dozen or whatever. But it's a good bunch of people are able to trade this using the rules. We all see the same trades. That used to be something I said a lot. So, stick at it. These indicators, these things have been tried and tested for years. The 3CR for probably best part of 15 years. The RSI Histo's been on the charts now for best part of 3 years, and the TMA slope is best part of 1 or 2 years. And the 3CR was the benchmark. Find something you trust implicitly and you understand the reasons for it to work, and then find something that agrees with it, and then find something else that agrees with everything. This is particularly useful with divergence, which if you watched my previous videos. So let's have a look at this multi-time frame analysis. So that was the pullback based on the H1 3CR. H1 3CR, so we know we've got to be looking for longs. There's no reason to consider shorts unless you're just going to get a crazy little dangerous scalp there. So you just wait for everything else to agree. That's turned green, so that's good on the M30. M15 now, we're in the middle of that pullback. Nice little 2 red candle pullback, and this is now wrong, because categorically, even at that point there, you're on a red candle with a green bar. That's not right. The RSI is protecting us as well. So we're watching that pullback. We know this should be happening. So at this point, we know H1 is an agreement. We know M30 is an agreement. M15 is just messing about. So let's have a look at M5. Because obviously this is what I mean by multi-time frame momentum trading. So M5, here's the cream on the cake, as it were. We've got a nice 2B pattern going on here, a nice pullback going on that the M15 told us about. And then, at no point have we had any sort of idea that we should be going long. Not even a bust pullback break and close on the bust pullback. We haven't broken and closed above that high there. But notice now, and this is another point I made on the Twitter feed, is that at this point now, we have agreement with all the indicators, because they just work so, I'm going to curse, they work so damn well. So we've also got the 3CR on the lower time frame, so we've cancelled out that 3CR on the higher time frame with that. We have now got the green TMA slope close in agreement. Momentum, remember? And I'm not sure whether this closed higher than that one. It would be amazing if it has, because it would just prove what I talked about. And I don't do this very often now, but I used to do it all the time. You have to run your mouse over the top of the RSI Indy to get the proper reading on that. Sorry about this. So it should tell us the level on there. Oh, it's not. It's because it's Dinesh's multi-time frame one. That's a shame. I won't change that over. But that does look, I mean, if it's not higher by a micro pip or whatever. Oh, it is 3097. I think that reads. And that one's 3111. Let's double check that. So it's not quite higher, but we're not going to worry too much about that. 3111, 3097. Yeah, 3097. So it hasn't quite done the bust, pullback, break and close. Bust, pullback, break and close above the high of that. So hopefully that's clear what I'm looking for. I would want like 3198 really in the old days. But now I'm happy with the TMA slope to do what it does. And I can see I've waited for the pullback. They've added what are called discounted buy orders. They push it down to get a better price, push it down to get a better price, fake in the short traders, take out the stops and whatnot, and lo and behold, up it goes. And that's a good old scalp there. So that's it, multi-time frame analysis. I didn't cherry pick this. We could have a look at the US 30 and it would look very similar, I'm sure, when it decides to swap over for me. Alerts going off all over the place. US 30, yet we've had a later TMA, but you can see that is in total agreement with my recent observations, as it were. We've had a pretty deep pullback. You could wait for the break of the high, or the watch the M1. I'm not going to drop to that because that's overkill at the moment, but we have really clearly got the 3CR up. We did have a bust, break and close scenario here. So what I do, and I'd forget to mention also, I'll flick between them. So if one looks better than the other, I will actually cherry pick the trade, because I like to fulfill as many rules as I can. So US Tech, US 30 going to be moving pretty much in the same direction. I'm not going to check US 500, but that will just complicate matters. But there we go. So we've got the bust, pullback, and the break and close, which is higher than the bust. And in this instance, the TMA slope was a little late. But as I said before, that's why I will switch between a few similar looking setups and pick whichever looks the best. So we'll go quickly through the other time frames to. Oh well, let's have a look at that. Did that? Yeah, that on the M5. I can hear the rain on my roof here. On M5, a nice break through the 34 EMA. Nice, probably divergence involved there as well. There was a little bit. Lower low, not making a lower low on the momentum. 3CR up, and good old TMA slope there. And look, that's a massive move. Absolutely minimal drawdown, and up she goes. So this is something I've literally noticed over the last couple of days, and it is adding to the conviction, the ultimate multi-time frame momentum entries. So let's go back to M15, have a quick look at what was going on over here. There's a change of colour, big old break of I often have these lines on my charts and don't explain what they are, but I'll be looking at things like that. Line chart levels too. And the higher the time frame, the lower the level often goes, so you can actually confirm a break of resistance at a lower price, which I like a lot, and that's all on my videos as well. So we've clearly busted through that resistance there, used it as support, loading up those discounted orders again. We've got the change of colour to green. So this is the point I was trying to make. You don't always have, you've got the higher time frame confirmation. So if this hasn't turned green, it's not the end of the world, because when you drop to the lower time frames like M5, as I say, that becomes more important. That's important to notice that as well, or to note that. It does take a bit of time getting your head round, and I could spend thousands of hours making videos about it all, but really it's all on your charts. You know what I look for, and as I said in a recent tweet, everything agrees. This, you know, this template, this set of indicators has been an evolution over the best part of 20 years. Well, if you take the first 2 years not having a clue, but best part of 18 years, 17 years of testing. I still do it now. You know, someone recently said if someone says you never stop learning, they're being a bit of an idiot. Well, it's I think that person does make some silly comments once in a while, and that's one of the silliest. So you never stop learning, observing. You know, I've gone from when I started on, sorry, I've gone off topic a bit now, but when I started on Twitter again due to the COVID lockdown, I was religiously taking one trade in the morning, walking away, coming back later on in the day and looking for an overextended average daily range reversal. Now I'm dropping into charts any time of day I like, looking for the correct set of circumstances, and taking trades on anything, absolutely anything and everything. So COVID has been kind to me in that respect, and also the karma from sharing has been kind. Never stop learning. You never ever stop learning. So yeah, there's the M30 change of colour there. RSI doing its stuff as well, you know, bust, pullback, break and close up above it, above that number there, and you know, pretty much no-brainer trade into the 89 EMA there. So that would be fairly interesting, because if it closes through the 89, oh, and this is another thing that occurred to me, you know, at this point here we've got lots and lots of little choices. We can either go up with the TMA slope momentum, this, that and the other, or we can wait for a break of the 34, and you know, we'll know whether it's ready to go short or not as well. So, you know, we're getting multiple opportunities using multi-time frame analysis. So that's it. Hopefully this has been of some value to you. You may need to watch it a few times, but if you can't get it, then everything's on your charts. You know, it's all on your charts to observe like I did, and keep your mind open. You know, I mean, I've only noticed this recently, literally. I don't know why I noticed it, but it works, and it's offering numerous opportunities throughout the day. Works on every time frame the same way. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.